Huron Karst clawed his way back up the black silt strand, the frigid waves crashing around him. Spluttering and hacking out seawater and foam alike, he rested on his hands and knees to catch his breath, drenched and freezing upon the cold shores of, well, he didn't know where. Where in the hand's name had the currents dragged him to? Was he still on the Tomb Watcher Isle, or had he been swept to some other forsaken island by the capricious whims of the Stormkeeper? One of Strix's isles, or one engulfed by the Doom? He knew that waiting around to freeze to death, or worse, to be caught by an enemy patrol on these forbidding shores, was not going to give him answers, nor would it help him return to Nos Arax. He tried to stand, but the world swirled around him. The peripheries of his vision darkened, and he smelled blood and smoke. Coughing, struggling for breath, Huron slumped back down to his knees and looked down at his hands. He had lost his armor, his helmet, and his cloak in his effort not to drown. He still wore his pistol and sword, though the former was useless, with his satchel of sacred ash being as drenched as he was. His black tunic was torn along one shoulder, and over his left arm, revealing a black webwork of charred wounds. Wounds in the branching fractal shape of a lightning burn. He remembered, as he panted, recovering from his death-defying swim to an unknown shore. He remembered. The black corposants shrouding the sky, the chanting upon the wind. The sails of his own ship hanging limp and dead even as a ghostly gale carried the black-sailed ships towards his fleet with alarming speed. They had scythed through the calm seas as though they had shackled the Stormkeeper himself into their thrall. For all Huron knew, they had. The other gods were, according to the Covenant of Ash, still silent. Only the Ashen Hand spoke. Well, only the Ashen Hand and the obscene thing that had driven his people from Istragul. Perhaps this enemy was responsible. He didn't know. He couldn't know. What he did know is that the black lightning had burst forth from the gale and raked across the deck, scorching dozens of his crew into blackened, petrified husks. It had grazed him, and all he could do was thank the hand for the mere fact that he survived. Or perhaps it had been his alchemically infused armor that had protected him. Nevertheless, the lightning had shattered portions of his armor and taken him out of the fight. He couldn't remember what had happened after that. He simply needed to find shelter. Shelter, and a distant call caught his attention. With a sudden surge of energy, dredged forth from the well of his own resolve and fortitude by the presence of a potential threat, Huron drew his cutlass with his good arm and stood, holding his weapon out before him, even as he nearly stumbled and fell back down to the damp, black silt again. A figure approached, limping and battered. Huron's tunneling vision prevented him from seeing who or what it was for a few moments. But as his sight resolved, he recognized the figure and lowered his cutlass. The grizzled, bearded features of the First Sergeant Jacob Holstein resolved. "Thank the hand! You're alive!" the First Sergeant called as he drew nearer. 3 other men moved behind the First Sergeant, all appearing just as battered. "First Sergeant," Huron called. His voice rang strangely in his waterlogged ears. "Tell me you know where we are. Tell me you aren't the only survivors." "Aye, Viceroy," the sergeant called. "A few dozen men, sheltering in the wreckage of the Zenith Martyr a half-league down the shore. One of the other sergeants managed to call a retreat. We have one ship anchored nearby, small and damaged, just a sloop. But our cantankerous old chartmaster managed to live, and he thinks he's got our location." "And be praised," Huron muttered, flatly, accepting a helping hand from the First Sergeant. "Let's get back to the wreckage and find our way back to civilization." "Well, we might have some help on that front too," the sergeant said as they began to move. "One of our surviving overseers had detected a beacon far to the southwest. Some golden light. Flame, smoke, you know. Seems convinced it's going to lead us to Nos Arax." Huron nodded, grimacing as the pain of his lightning burn flared at the movement. Then it would seem Ashcroft has finished his work. What? The sergeant asked. A recall beacon, linked to the Nihil flame and the Queen's blood-anointed ashes, Huron muttered. And if the Artificer Ashcroft's words were to be believed, it would be even more capable than that. It had something to do with the brand bestowed upon him by Queen Mar. But he didn't elaborate on that further, given the common folk's general mistrust and fear of the arcane. And from the first sergeant's confused look, Huron realized his already simplified explanation was nothing short of gibberish to the soldier. Priest business, he clarified. Ah, right, Holstein answered. Figured as much, but you're saying it will lead us home? Yes, Huron answered. Well, that's a relief, the sergeant responded. And here I thought our overseer had lost his marbles and was trying to lead us to chase a Fata Morgana. No, Huron said. The beacon will be our saving grace, our first bit of good fortune since we set our sights upon those black sails.
Greetings, my fellow subjects of the Corvost Imperium. It is the Ash Heritor, and we are back with our Age of Wonders 4 Hand of Mar campaign. In the previous episode, we suffered a bit of a strategic mishap as our ruler, the Viceroy Huron Karst, and his fleet was destroyed by the invaders known as the Spinner's Heralds. But at the very least, their sacrifice has bought the Tomb Watcher outpost a bit of time. And as it so stands, Lady Lavinia Karst will be staying to the seas right now. The outpost here is currently... We're not actually going to build stone walls here. So thank you to the comment that pointed out that it's actually just cheaper and better to build the walls. That we're going to be spending the time anyways in terms of the production and the gold cost right now. There's no point in building the stone walls if you're going to be making it into a city anyways. So what we're going to be doing is founding a city. It's going to cost us 200 of our Imperium, and it's going to take 5 turns, but it will be ready soon. In the meantime, Lavinia Karst is going to stay right here. The enemy is not attacking Tomb Watcher Outpost anymore, which means it's not under immediate threat, nor do I want her to go too far away from the outpost here. So we're going to remain in the sea. The sea will also work to our advantage, because any army emerging from one of these underground holes is going to have to come to the sea. I'm actually going to move her 1 square away, just so that they can't immediately engage. We also have some resources that we need to seize here. These silver-tongue fruits, an enchanting bloom that upon consumption encourages cooperation in those who indulge in its succulent harvest, often used as a treat during negotiations to bring about a fruitful outcome for all. So we received a mission to obtain the silver-tongue fruit. We'll have 25 turns to do so. I think the best way to do this is to actually expand this city down to take that and control the water passage here. It's not really the immediate route I'd prefer to take with doing that, but it is what it is. In the meantime, we're moving more of our forces over so that we can secure a defensive position here. So I'm going to move my secondary force actually up to hold this outpost down, and then Lavinia can, drift around. In the meantime, we have another force. This other force would normally be defending Ashgate, but what I think I'm going to do is actually levy up a new defensive force here in Ashgate. So I'm going to immediately start recruiting some mage locks, and here we're also going to start creating a secondary defensive force. So I will be creating a unit of mage locks. We'll be relying on those quite a lot. And indeed, we have a particular Lord Artificer, Julian Ashcroft, that has been working tirelessly to create this room of recall that should allow Huron Karst to return quicker in the future, should that be required. This should also allow, it should allow him to come back and defend the capital. But I don't know if it's going to immediately help here, but this Lord Artificer, Julian Ashcroft, is it's actually a creation of one of my viewers here, the Anime Zombie. So thank you for your well-written and detailed stories about this Lord Artificer. It just so happens that we'll be needing a new governor for a new city, and since it's going to be a fortress city, well, I mean, it would be quite reasonable to have a Lord Artificer manage such a city, would it not? So, new Empire development skill available. We are going to take a look at this because we do have quite a bit of Imperium. So, we could take this. Your cities gain 500 draft this turn. We don't need that right now. We don't need that right now either. That'll summon a bandit army. And raising cities grants +1 population to your cities for every 3 population of the city that was raised. That sounds great. Pillaging a province takes 1 less turn and yields 20% more rewards. Pillage units are healed for 20 hit points. That sounds incredible, because we're going to be doing that. Lure of the Horde we're also going to be getting. We already have. And yeah, we're going to want war slaves too. Like, all of this is going to be very useful to us. But for now, we're looking okay here. Our next force is going to come down to reinforce this outpost. So we'll basically have 3 full armies to defend these territories right down here. And then what I want to do, just as soon as I can, is get the tech that's going to allow us to build a 4th city. And we're going to want to secure one of these southern islands. Because these southern islands are going to be able to block off the Strix Eyrie. Because I don't want them expanding too close to Nosarax. Question is, which island? This one here would be the strategic one to take. The only issue is that it's less strategic in terms of the resources that it offers. It's nice because it's got these watchtowers here, so we'll have a lot of vision range, and it'll kind of wall them in. But the other islands, particularly this one down here, is going to be a bit better in terms of resources and room for expansion, so I'm not sure. Besides, I don't know if we want to antagonize the Strix Eyrie right now. I'm entirely intending to antagonize them later, but right now we need to deal with the threat that is the Spinner's Heralds. They're an existential threat to our empire, and, well, we've seen firsthand what they can do. So, she's going to hold here, and we're going to end our turn. So, yeah, for those of you that have watched my Lizards campaign, I unfortunately have some bad news on that front. Seems that the mods have broken that campaign. I can't get it to load. I'm going to continue trying to disable or figure out how to install older versions of the mods into that. Thankfully, this game, along with most other Paradox strategy games, have the mod playsets, which are really handy because you can just kind of select which group of mods you want to do for which campaign you're running, which is really nice. So I don't need to constantly be shuffling them about. Rather, I just need to shuffle about the playsets. But I've already spent a good 2 hours trying to get that to work, and it's not. So it seems like the Empires and Ashes update has caused a bit of an issue, which, yeah, I wasn't really expecting, which was why I was also taking my time with that campaign, because when I did the first one, the Spider Cult campaign, and the first expansion, Dragon Dawn, dropped, that was unaffected. I could continue playing that just fine, so I'm not sure what happened here, but yeah, if you don't see anything more from that, well, know that the story, the greater narrative of the setting will be continued in this campaign and future campaigns, and also know that I will, you know, based on what happened there, I will attempt to speed this campaign along. I can't guarantee that I'll be able to do more than 1 episode per week. I will try, but there's only so much I can do, because I work 2 jobs, both of them part-time, but that leaves me pretty exhausted. And these episodes take quite a long time to record and quite a long time to edit. So I spend a good 6 to 7 hours for one of these episodes, depending on how long it is, with you know, writing, editing, recording the dialogue, putting together the little. They're not really movies; they're pretty haggard, just random screenshots and some music. But it does take quite a bit of time. So I will attempt to do more than 1 per week, but if it's just 1 per week, then, you know, that's what it's going to be. Hopefully we'll be able to finish this campaign before the next expansion drops. We've got plenty of time for that, so should be okay. Anyways, let's move our Dragoons over. We could try... No, they're too damaged. But since they're here,
And since we'll at least be able to hold out one turn with our palisades if enemies come, I'm going to have Lavinia start purging the local wildlife here. So we have 2 armies here, so we're just going to auto-resolve this unless we lose something, which we didn't. So all is well there. Send some resources to Nosarax. And we're going to purge these ones as well. So, that's good. There's one other little bit of potentially hostile wildlife there. And, from the looks of it, Lavinia Karst has leveled up. Fantastic. So, there's plenty of things we could give her. We could give her martial expertise. No, that's going to affect ranged. Though, might be cool to give her a pistol. Or something. I wish there was like a like a wand, but a pistol instead that you could, use. Could have like a 4-turn cooldown, or even just a once per battle type of thing. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give her a bit of defense. She is using a shield now, so we're going to make sure that she can endure in battles to come. Okay, Elixir Sopharix has returned to Hallow Hall, so there are disturbances down here in the territory of the Strix area. It seems like the Strix are being beset by a tide of menacing sea creatures. Excellent. We'll let them do exactly that. I wish there was a way. I think it'd be really cool if you could somehow fund, well, maybe not fund, but at least, like, help infestations. I think that'd be really cool. That'd be a really awesome mechanic. So I've got one observer drone. Is it just the one? Okay, we're going to move our troops here, and they're going to park in this outpost to hold that line. Now, here we have our mage locks under production. I will immediately set another mage lock under production. We're going to have a garrison of them here. That one's going to be 2 more turns, but the Masonic Hall is almost done. So, what we can do here is... I think we can start constructing a lodestone foundry for extra mana and production. That's going to go quick, and then we'll queue up a market. We'll queue up a market. Gotta pronounce it right. How are we doing, elsewise? 4 more turns for that. Let's end our turn. So, the Lord Huron Karst is back. We're going to levy him up a new army, actually. That's what we're going to do here. So we have mage locks. We're definitely going to get ourselves a dragoon. We need 30 more war spoils until we can get a mage lock cannon, and you can be damn certain that we're going to get one of those. So, Ashgate has produced its Masonic Hall. All is going well here. The second mage lock is done. I wish we had some good tier 2 units. I think we need to do that with our, research. But we're researching what we're researching, and right now the units that we could research are predominantly ranged or casters, though there are golems. We could produce some golems, and I would like to get some iron golems here. But we could start summoning in some copper golems. But I don't see any reason why we would need to do that at this instant. Ah, look at that. Return your army with your ruler to your throne city. It does cost mana, and it is a fair bit of mana, and it's a fair bit of our world map casting points, which, how much do we have? We have out of 55, so actually we can't do that in 1 turn. So we need to increase this, which is going to take a little bit of time. But actually what we can do, we could also just send Huron Karst up to join up with the army here with these dragoons. I think I might just do that. That, I think, is a better call. So we're going to have him go up by himself. It'll be a bit risky, but I don't see this enemy fleet anywhere around. And we're going to park this as the garrison here, so that'll be good. Stormscale Serpent and some other units. And we're going to... Yeah, no, the Nemu here, these turtles... As much as I would like to let them go personally, I'm a big fan of turtles. I like turtles. And, the problem is, Lavinia Karst, she liked hunting. So, unfortunately, no escape for anyone. So, they've been dealt with. We're not going to recruit that. Oh, no, dismiss it. We don't need a Lesser Tide Spirit. And that's actually giving us some pretty good money. Or money? It's giving us some good food towards Nosarax. So we'll be able to expand Nosarax further. So she has brought her forces up, and we are going to
have that go over there, and I think what I want to do is actually move the Wyvern. Yeah, we're going to shuffle some stuff around. The Wyvern's going to join her fleet, and the Golems are going to come here and help defend the newfound city that we are building, because, of course, that's going to be Julian Ashcroft, who is going to be our Lord Artificer and our next hero's city. And he's going to be using Golems. So, that's going to be pretty cool. Also, there may come a time when we when we construct a Golem hero as well. Of course, there's no rules for actually doing that, but we can create one that looks like that and give him the stats for that, which should be pretty cool. So, what can we do here? We could construct a Reaver Manufactorum. 5 draft per adjacent quarry, forester, or mine. So we got a mine here, 2 quarries here. If we were to expand here and build that right there, that could be really good. Because there's nothing else that we can build here. So let's have a quick look. It's going to cost us 144. Or we can wait 8 turns. I'm actually going to do this to expand it right now. We're going to put a quarry down. And what I'm going to do is immediately set up a Reaver Manufactory. Right here. Because that's going to be a pretty good upgrade to have. 2 more turns and our Ironclad Citadel will be ready. We'll be able to recruit tier 4 units. We'll see what those are going to be like. I don't even know what they are. I haven't researched how this faction plays or what its like future capabilities are. I'm just playing as we go. So spells ready to cast indeed. I think I'm gonna just ready a Recall Ruler, because of course you can do that. And I'm gonna ready a Golem as well. So we're just gonna have those in reserve, which we can use whenever we need them. My apologies if you hear any noise in the background. That is my washing machine. It is currently possessed by some sort of entity, and I don't really know what to do about it. So it's making all kinds of strange noises, and maybe I should call a tech priest to get that looked at. But for now, it's okay. All praise the Dark Mechanicum. Our military production is going swimmingly. We have dragoons that are undergoing training here in Nosarax. More horses are being shipped from the mainland, so all is well there. Meanwhile, in Ashgate, we need to increase our garrison here. We have a unit of mage locks and a unit of overseers. I want a second unit of mage locks, and then we're going to want to get some sort of mainline infantry to pad out the forces, although we'll have walls, so actually having more ranged units might not be a terrible idea. We can just gun them down from range. So, the Viceroy makes his push through the seas. He'll be heading up towards the outpost. In the meantime, Lavinia is going to move her forces in here. Okay, she's moving incredibly slowly for some reason. I don't know why. Is it the Golems? Are they just really slow? Land movement, 32. Our land movement is 40. Yeah, I need to get these out of the army. They're going to be a defensive force. And then Julian Ashcroft can have that as his main army, just Golems. He'll be a slow-moving defensive force that might utilize some sort of teleportation network. But as for Huron Karst, I mean, he only has a, I don't know what his land movement is. If it's 48, we can saddle him up with a retinue of dragoons and just be incredibly annoying. They can just ride around the countryside using their harrying shots, just blasting everything from range and then pulling away. Oh man, that would be really fun. So you guys are going to hold here. You guys are going to hold here for now. Right, let's actually already move the Bone Wyvern up. So that's going to go up there and hold the position. 2 more turns until this outpost is done. So, Lavinia's forces have reorganized. She's going to be moving towards the sea and will actually move and take some of the units from this army down here. We'll be removing the halberdiers from her army because they don't really thematically make too much sense. And we're going to be replacing those with harriers because, of course, she's got an army of pirates, basically. And we might also be taking the Stormscale Serpent to move with her as well. She's got her menagerie of beasts fighting under her, living and dead. So, Nosarax has completed its Dark Citadel, or whatever it's called. So, we're going to set our production here. And let's see here. We an extraction nexus, but I think we want to have more special buildings before we do that. But special buildings we can absolutely have with a rune carver's camp. So if we could get a rune carver's camp here, what does this count as? This counts a Reaver manufactorium. Counts as a mine. Okay, so that's not great to put there. That's farms. So yeah, it needs to have adjacent quarries. So I don't think we're going to have too many great options there. I mean, there are dredger quarries, so we could theoretically do this as a naval province. Ritual pyres could be cool too for extra mana, but we need foresters, and I'll be dead honest, I don't feel like building any foresters anywhere. However, a spelljammer is always warranted. It does cost one of our territory slots, so I'd like to build that on something that isn't useful. And right now, we need all of our farms, because we need to be able to expand quicker. So I don't think we're actually going to build it right now. Thus far, no enemies have come near, so I think we'll be okay. So yeah, these bolstering matrices, I'm not sure, because we don't have any chaos buff spells, or materium buff spells. All we have is these, like, big enchantments, right? Like, our combat spell abilities here. This is just a damage spell, and I don't think it's actually aligned with anything. It doesn't say. I wish it told you what its alignment was, like... We need more combat spells, that's a given. We need more combat spells, we need more golems, we need more research. What do we need here? We require 1 research post. Okay, so we need to get that sorted. Ooh, do I spend all of this Imperium to get ourselves a research post? Otherwise, we have to wait 14 turns. Requires 3 coastal provinces to unlock. So that would also unlock us the Grand Wharf. It would increase the speed of things. Ah, Armory requires 2 foresters. We don't really need an Armory, though, as it currently stands. None of these are going to be helping us at the moment, because we have no heroes in the crypts. What about the Channeling Tower? It's going to cost us 200 mana. Will grant us plus 10 world map casting and combat casting points, and an extra spell slot. That's going to be really good, but it's going to kind of cripple us. And as it stands, I don't want to be crippled, because I don't know where the enemy is. They could be lurking right beyond our field of vision, for all I know. They could be right underneath us. Because, honestly, I have no idea what's down there. We should actually send scouts down there to find out. But I don't know what to build here. I could just build a Beacon of Valor. It's going to cost us, just some production. It's going to increase the health of our fortifications. I mean, might as well. Let's just do it. We'll take 3 turns. We'll be able to defend Nosarax a little bit better. And we could also queue up some catapult towers. Let's see here. Ashgates, how are you doing? Market is almost complete. There's plenty of things that we can still build here. I think I will construct an estate hall to further its territorial expansions, because I want to be able to fully control this island. And as soon as Huron is here, he is going to actually be taking control of the defense of these areas, and Lavinia is going to be tasked with going south to founding a new city. This isn't exactly her forte. Last time we sent her to go and do that, she got distracted. But at the moment, if she gets distracted, it's not the end of the world. So, they're going to hold here. Lavinia is going to hold there, because apparently she can't. Never mind, she can. It just didn't show that she could. Well, that's handy at least. And our Copper Golem is ready. Recall Ruler is ready. Spells are ready to launch. We're going to end our turn.
The beacon had been a success. Its full capacity had not yet been realized, but for now, it had, at the very least, led the way for one of the Viceroy's surviving priests to find their way back. Its other functions, the reconstitution of flesh, blood, and bone via the Queen's brand, had not yet been tested. But then, the Viceroy had not died, and thus there was no need to test yet if the Queen's alchemical machine would work as planned. That Artificer Julian Ashcroft was granted the authority to construct and test such a machine was a blessing. It was a sign that the Ashcroft family would, at long last, achieve the greatness they desired, and do so through the righteous pathway of the Queen's favor. Julian paced around the Artificer's vault, set deep within the Tower of the Covenant, marveling at the arcane artifice of the device he had created, when a black-robed and masked servant entered the chamber, bearing with him an iron-bound scroll. As the Artificer unfurled the scroll and read it, his lips curled into a triumphant smile. Yes, indeed, the Ashcroft name would become ascendant. The scroll bore a writ of governorship, signed by the Viceroy himself. It was a curt, short message of congratulations, and a list of first commands. It would seem that his deeds had not gone unnoticed. And now, Julian Ashcroft would have an even greater role to play in the propagation of the Corvost Imperium, a role he was eager to play. So, thank you to the Anime Zombie for writing up the narrative pieces about Julian Ashcroft. You've given me plenty of detail and character to work with, so here indeed we present our next hero. We, of course, have a couple more characters in the works, brewed up by commenters as well. The First Sergeant, Jacob Holstein, is one of them, created by the narrative of Jedinathan, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and the yet-named Old Sergeant that called the retreat that managed to save a portion of the Viceroy's fleet is one created by the Orca of Something. If you give the man a thematic name in keeping with the naming conventions of the Corvost Imperium, I'd be happy to give him a more active role in the narrative as well, but I can't do much if I don't have a name for the guy. And for these two sergeants, they are, as of now, lower-ranking soldiers, but that is, of course, all subject to change later. There may be need for new heroes as the story progresses, and what better heroes will there be to find than ones who have already proven their mettle amidst the rank and file. In any case, thanks to all of you commenters for adding your own bits to the narrative. It's always a joy to read.
With the Viceroy returned, he has appointed a new hero. A hero from Nosarax, whose construction of the recalling beacon within the Tower of the Covenant was instrumental to the Viceroy finding his way back through the storm as a reward for his services and also as a reward for his family's long-standing services to Queen Mar. The Viceroy has appointed Lord Artificer Julian Ashcroft, who we see right here, as the new governor of the newfound city, known as Golemkeep. Julian Ashcroft will do Golemkeep well. He will be assigned with maintaining its defenses and constructing an army of fighting machines that will repel the Spinner's heralds should they return. For now, the Viceroy's forces are going to combine here. We're going to leave this unit of copper golems, and the rest of the force is going to merge together. This is going to be his new army. It is a unit of dragoons, mage locks, overseers, mercenaries, and harriers. He has basically everything we currently have to offer. Who knows? And Lavinia is going to move down here and is actually going to pull up position right alongside here. Her 2 units of halberds are going to disembark, or not, so we'll do that next turn, I guess. Okay, as for this unit here and this unit here, they're going to go into the water already, so that way we can at least expedite the process of aligning her forces correctly. In the meantime, our city has been founded. It is not called Stemtrib, it is called Golemkeep, and we need to immediately set our production here. So, there's plenty of things we can do, of course. I would highly recommend immediately adding our population. Just expediting the process, immediately getting a couple of places here. So we're going to, of course, want a quarry. So we're going to do exactly that. We're going to build ourselves a quarry. And the next thing we're going to want to do is actually start constructing down here, because we need to seize this area. So we're going to build a fish farm, and we'll worry about filling in the rest of this area soon enough. As for the production here, we're going to start off with a workshop and a stone mason. Now, I have a bit of money. I'm going to hurry the production of the workshop, which is going to speed up the production of the stonemason, and this will allow us to queue up the second tier building here already, because I want to start constructing stone walls as soon as possible. This place is going to be a fortress. So, artisan armaments have been completed. We are, of course, going to cast that on our troops as soon as possible, and we are going to start raising iron golems. What does siege magic do? Grants the enchanted units plus 10. Okay, this grants all of our units. Siege breaker? Maybe. Artisan fortification. The city gains 20 fortification, health, and bolt repeater towers. Ooh. That sounds kind of cool. We'll get iron golem first. Naturally. Now, as for the Viceroy, he is going to... The first thing that he's going to do is go down here and clear out whatever might be down there. If the Spinner's Heralds are down there, we need to know about it. So, we will also start constructing a group of mercenaries down here as well. Now, our army is trespassing. It would appear that our observers are going to be forced out of this area. In the interest of not immediately going to another war, we're going to pull our observers out. So, we will withdraw, and we will move to occupy this tower down here. This tower down here will allow us to at least keep a lookout to see if they are coming in our direction at all. And if they are, then we can deal with them accordingly. Our golems are going to hold position there. Spells ready to launch. We have nothing ready to launch. We want to cast artisanal armaments. So we actually need to cast one of these. Very well. We'll drop a copper golem right here. We can only have 2 ready. So we'll ready up artisanal armaments. That will be good for our troops. Very well. Let's end our turn. First course of action. The Lord Artificer will move to his new city, and our forces here are going to convene. They will join the defense there, and Lavinia will merge with these new troops. Her menagerie, her pirates, and her trusted gunners. We're all going to set sail and head south. We're going to check, make sure there's no enemies here. Doesn't appear that there are. I think we already cleared those out. Nosarax has produced a dragoon. This dragoon is going to sail up because it is going to join Huron Karst's army directly. But first, Huron Karst's army is going to head down into this underground entrance. And from the looks of it, this is a large subterranean network. It is not altogether different from the large subterranean networks that we have encountered back on the continent of Koridu. It would appear this entire planet is pockmarked and filled with these, cavernous vacuoles. And only knows what might dwell down here. His troops will be very careful. Now, we will go and take this outpost. Spell ready. Artisan armaments are ready to go. Our troops will have a 30% extra crit chance. We'll decrease our upkeep, or it will increase our upkeep, I should say, but ultimately, it's going to be worth it. So, we're producing nothing here right now. I think we want to hold off on producing new units for the current moment, while we focus on building. So, we can immediately expand here. I think that's a good call. Yes. What do we want to take? Because we can build a forester there, or we can build a... let's actually build a nautical research post. We need to increase our research capabilities sooner rather than later. We can build an academy here in Ashgate. That might be worthwhile. Let's do it. Let's queue it up. And it's going to be quite a bit of time before we can get anything going there. But here in Golemkeep, the production is moving along swimmingly. 84. I think it's worth it, actually. So we're going to seize this right now. We can build a research post right here on these strange silver-tongue fruits. And that's what we're going to do. So, I'm not going to read this out because this does not work with the... So we would gain a barbed shield, or we could gain 127 Imperium. Yeah, we're going to gain 127 Imperium. I didn't read that out because it does not work with our character version of Lavinia Karst. So I'll I'll do the given narratives that it offers when they make sense. And that one did not. Otherwise, they're just pure game mechanics. I'll add my own narratives as it goes. So, spells ready to launch. Yeah, I know, we're ready there. We are, of course, going to cast Awaken Tools on Golemkeep, which will increase the production speed there. And, yeah, right now Golemkeep has all of these territories down here, which is pretty cool. So we're going to, of course, have it occupy both of these islands, which should be good. Now, let us end our turn. While it will be a drain on our resources with no real gain to be had, I think it's a necessary thing we must do. And that is to construct an outpost. We're going to build an outpost down here, and that outpost down here is going to be here for the sole purpose of making sure nothing comes at us from below. Satisfied with everything down there and not wanting to have his men get too freaked out by what could be down there, we'll leave the thralls to finish the construction of that outpost, and it will include a watchtower and a stone wall, just so that it's going to function as a bit of a roadblock for any invaders that might be coming from below. So, new Empire development skill available. What have we here? Rite of the Dreadnought. All currently active units permanently gain +1 defense and resistance. Oh boy. Is this repeatable? I imagine it is. And if it's stackable, I mean, that's a lot of Imperium, but... And there's no real way to get absolute shit tons of Imperium, so... Still, that's pretty good. This... I feel like this should probably be a cheaper one, lower down on the tier list, because that's not that good. That, though, that's a lot of extra gold. I don't know how many special province improvements we have at the moment. I don't think we have that many. But, I mean, this is also pretty good. That's going to solve some of our stability problems. That's also really good. So yeah, we've got 3 good options here. And of course, yeah, the Metropolitan Society does at least function for our throne city. And if we can get Ashgate and Nosarax to share a border, which is definitely possible. They are not far from each other. So if we were to get, like, Nosarax to take here and Ashgate to expand into the nearby seas, then I think we're going to get that. Message received. You're angering me, Huron Karst. I'm warning you, if you keep going like this, I'll see an end to your reign right here. Bird people. Not to be trusted. Any sort of, pre-divergence species are going to be bent to whims that are inscrutable to humanity. Thus, they can't exactly be counted on to make rational decisions. So, of course, Lavinia Karst is going to raid and reave the seas and despoil as much as she possibly can because no. Are you shitting me? Right. Well, this is going to be our first battle. It's going to be an easy battle, but apparently it thought that our flying bone wyvern was going to get taken down by some sea turtles and some octopuses. I vehemently disagree. So I guess we'll have to do this one manually. Right, Lavinia will advance. We could, of course, do a lightning strike. Seems kind of... Actually, let's move right up here, because then we should have... No, that won't really work, will it? Although we can drop it like that. Yeah, that should work. So if you move right up here, you'll be a little bit in a dangerous position, but hitting those lightning strikes already, that's not bad. Then we can put up our Storm Scale Serpents right here. They can help defend her. She'll take some damage, for sure. But if she's the one taking damage, then she's also going to be saving her troops. Okay. So we need to actually... Oh, those aren't turtles. Those are penguins. Even more insulting that our bone wyvern would be taken out by penguins. Penguins can't even fly. Bone wyverns technically shouldn't be able to fly either, but we're not going to ask too many questions. Our harriers here, let's actually alleviate some of the strain on our troops. So we're going to net those penguins and prevent them from going anywhere. Penwings. Penglings? Who knows? Alright, we'll take aim on them. So we've got multiple units that are currently being sighted down. The Bone Wyvern can hold position. We'll take a bit of damage here, but shouldn't be too much. Okay, they're diseased now, apparently. Ouch. Nice. Solid counterattack there from Lavinia. She hits quite hard. Now, we're going to have our mage locks do what mage locks do, which is shoot the hell out of things. Oh, we can just straight up kill them. Let's do it. We don't need to engage in close combat with that unit. So is that a thing they can do? They can just slip away, huh? Alright, Lavinia Karst will engage here. Yeah, indeed. They have the ability to just escape, which I'm not a big fan of. So we're going to send the Stormscale Serpents to hunt them down. They're dead. And we can send the Bone Wyvern to take them out. Except that doesn't actually work. So that's an unfortunate thing. I need to immobilize these penguins, because these penguins can either come and attack there, which could do quite a bit of damage. Oh, they can't actually attack the... No, I still want to immobilize them. It's only a 30% chance. Do I have a better chance? No, I don't. Okay, then we're not going to do it. If I engage here, our Harriers are kind of guaranteed to die during the next round, so I'm actually going to put them into a defensive posture. And we'll see what the enemy does. Okay, they're attacking the Harriers, as expected. The Squids are attacking the Wyvern. The Wyvern should finish them off. There are a lot of abilities that kind of prevent immediate dying, and I don't like how frequently the random creeps that you encounter on the overland map get access to them. It's very annoying. So it just slows down these battles quite a bit. If I have to, you know, wait a turn for units to not die from steadfast. That might just be the level... That might just be a Kraken spawn thing. I don't think it should be. Holy crap, it's snowing outside. Awesome. It's rather cold here in the Netherlands. Arcfire Orb, perfect. I, of course, wanted Julian Ashcroft to be a caster, because we want a caster-type character. And, now we can do that. So, Arcfire Orb it is. Magical bolts. Amazing. He looks pretty awesome. His long beard, imposing stature, very tall. Thank you for giving a physical description, by the way. That's awesome. Makes me know exactly what we need. And we have ourselves a golem, or two of them, even. So that just happened. I'm not sure where they came from. I'm not going to worry too much about it. We're going to send them off to Golemkeep. And not look our gift golems in the mouth. That is how that saying works. So, Julian Ashcroft will go to assume control over his new territories. In the meantime, Huron is going to do an expedition. He's going on an expedition. We need to go and see where the enemy is coming from. We need to figure out where their base of operations is so that we can destroy it. In the meantime, our observers are going to hang out here. I feel like I should actually build some more observers. We could do that here in Golemkeep. I think that's what I'm going to do. We also want to be able to construct another city. So this is going to increase our city cap by 1. It's going to cost us 200 Imperium. Let's be done with it. So, this is, of course, repeatable, so we'll be able to do this more and more. I think that's the ones marked with circles. They're repeatable. So this, in that case, does not look repeatable. Which is a shame. And then I kind of want to save that for later when we have a lot of higher tier units. Yeah, you guys are going to hold here. Awakened Tools is ready. Drop that on Golemkeep. Golemkeep is looking good. It's looking a little upset too, so let's actually immediately queue up a tavern. Could hurry production. It's going to cost us 154 gold to speed us up along 2 turns. I don't know if that's worth it. I don't think so. Hurrying the production is most of the time not worth it, which I think is good. I mean, I guess if you end up with like a ridiculous gold income and you're constructing a new city, then it's really handy to immediately build some of those buildings. But most of the time, like, I don't find it's worth it to do that, whereas spending Imperium to expand, I think, is a much more valid strategy. I could be wrong, though. Let me know how you guys play this game if you end up using that. By the way, if you see I'm doing something that is very different from how you play this game, and, you know, you feel like, oh, it'd be really cool if you did this because this is a really good strategy that works for me, by all means, tell me in the comments. I like to hear this type of stuff. I am absolutely okay with backseat gaming when it comes to these types of games. Or very story-based games, or stuff like Dark Souls or Souls-likes, I'm a bit less okay with it. But for games like this, it's great. Strategy tips are always welcome. So, doesn't mean I'll always act on it, though. As for this, I think I need to build some of these matrices. They cost 200 mana, though. That's the problem. They're fucking expensive. And I really want. I'm doing it. We're going to get ourselves a. We're in the wrong place. A nautical post here. So we're going to get a nautical research post, which is going to immediately open up some new buildings here. So we're going to construct an academy, and then we'll construct a grand wharf shortly thereafter. We don't have enough money to do both. Our outpost here has been founded. Fantastic. Build a watchtower. And it can expand into these territories. This is going to do what for us? I don't think it's going to do much for us, but it's not like... We'll just put it there, a quarry, I guess. That'll send 5 production. This production, I assume, is sent to the outpost, but it doesn't use production. It does cost us 8 gold, but yeah, it's, like I said, it's going to be a resource drain, but it's a necessary one. Okay, at least this Opharix is withdrawn to the Astral Void again. It would appear that the, chickens are having a bit of a, rough time, and that's good. The more they're having a rough time, the less I will be having a rough time. Our golems are going to start sailing. We need to build some very heavy barges for them to get anywhere, so that's going to be a slow process. Our outriders are going to move up, and of course, Julian Ashcroft is going to be taking control of his garrison. So look at that. He is in his home city. All is well in the realm. As for Huron Karst, he's going to go sailing. Ooh, there are plenty of enemies to vanquish out here on the high seas. Gonna probably want to do that. Lavinia Karst is not going to turn down a fight. By the way, I know why these guys are invisible on the overland map now. Thank you to all of the comments that pointed out that they basically have a trait that makes them invisible when they're in water terrain, because they're water elementals, which actually makes a ton of sense, and that's cool that that is a thing. I was just confused before because I didn't read into it that much. So thank you to the comments that pointed that out. So, we're gonna try the auto combat. I'd rather not spend a bunch of time fighting this out. Our Bone Wyvern took a whole lot of damage here. That's okay. I'm willing to accept it. And we have ourselves Noble Aegis. That's a pretty good shield. Gonna grant defensive mode with shield wall. Adjacent allies gain +2 defense and +2 resistance. +3 defense against non-flanking attacks. That would be pretty good. And we have ourselves a new Harrier. Fantastic. What do we do with this Harrier? We send it up to Golemkeep, or do we make it join our army in place of this one? I think I'm going to send this one back up. Or we can send this one to Nosarax to help with the garrison there. We'll do that, and we'll have this Harrier join up here. It's a full health one. And we will seize this shipwreck, which is, of course, being guarded by a bunch of invisible water elementals. Am I going to lose my Bone Wyvern? Probably. No. Alright, we'll be taking this shipwreck. That's a lot of gold. Perfect. Replenishing our stores. Thank you, Lavinia Karst. Her reaving of the seas is doing us well. Also, she leveled up. So, we will get her killing momentum. Regains an action point when killing another unit with a magic, melee, or physical ranged attack. Or melee or physical ranged attack. Yeah. With a magic... Oh, any melee, any magic, or a physical ranged attack specifically. So not a magical ranged attack? No. I don't know why it specifies. Whatever. It says melee. Everything's gonna be fine. Well, there's more reaving to be done. More penguins? What are we gonna lose here? Harriers? No. Not like that, we're not. Might be we still lose them. I reckon there's a pretty good chance that we'll actually lose them in this fight. Them or the Wyvern. Either of which is, I think, actually an acceptable loss here. Because we're going to be founding a new city pretty soon. And that might actually be transferred to Lavinia's control, whereas we'll have to appoint a new governor for Ashgate. And I have a certain character in mind, but we'll see, depending on the narrative. So, if she moves up here, we can drop some lightning right there. Just going to do a bit of damage. We'll keep our damaged units out of the way, because right now, these guys are all going to engage her, or at least, well, that one might not. So what we can do is move these guys up into a somewhat defensive position. Our Stormscale Serpent can advance as well. I think it's going to be okay. And our gunners can advance right here. We have Harriers. Yeah, that should be good. Can we throw nets? We absolutely can. So we can basically trap one of them in place this next turn, which is going to be fantastic. And they're already marked. So that's lovely. Our Wyvern can pull up right here into the middle, because it is in a slightly dangerous position to be in. Let's end our turn here and see what the enemy does. Penguins are going to attack the Harriers. Ouch. That's a lot of damage. Okay, at least their defenses have been sundered. The squids are advancing. These dire penguins are an absolute menace. Okay. I only have a 50% chance of hitting. But it's okay. Lavinia should be able to do a lot of damage. She'll trigger a bit of retaliation. That's okay. Solid work. If we engage with our Harriers here, though... Yeah, now they can engage without worrying about retaliation, which is fantastic. So, they'll do some work there. The Bone Wyvern is going to move right over here and finish these penguins off. Great. Now, what I'm concerned about is that the penguins... If I have no line of sight... Ah, shit. Only 5% chance to hit. What? How are they so, offensive? Okay, there's a way to do it, and I don't remember... It's like a tactical... Is it control? Okay. Long range. So I wasn't aware that that was a thing. Yeah, unit... We're obscured by a friendly unit. That makes sense. Man, I want to immobilize them. But there's really only a small chance of actually succeeding. Otherwise, it's not really worth it. Could drop an ignite, but that's going to go out immediately. There's no real point in trying to ignite them. It's only a 5% chance to hit. What we're going to do instead... I'm going to engage these octopuses with the Stormscale Serpents. Okay. Then I'm going to move these two right up here, where they can start marking enemies. So they're both going to mark the penguins. Okay. And I'm just going to hope that they don't try and take out my my Wyvern here. There's not much I can do about it. But again, if we lose the Wyvern, it's not the end of the world. Okay, they're going for the Harriers. That's also not the end of the world. Alright. Well, alas. Okay. That was an interesting choice, but I'm not going to complain. Okay, Lavinia is going to finish off these penguins. Wonderful. Going to give her an action point back, which she is going to use to heal up the Stormscale Serpent. Stormscale Serpents, well, we can actually just shoot the octopus down. Alright, so this one doesn't have the whole, like, slippery thing, so weird that the other one got it. Enemy is defeated. Fantastic. We get ourselves a cloud in a bottle. Alright, that could be useful. So we'll move over here and prepare to attack these creeps as well. Lavinia has leveled up again. She's leveling up a lot. We are absolutely going to give her Assassinate. That's going to be her thing. Do we want to give her a cloud in a bottle? I don't think so. I'm happy with the abilities she has right now. She's got her demoralizing mask. We don't have any body armor. We should try and make some body armor. We do have a new shield, but I'm gonna keep the barbed shield on her. That's very much her style. Ah, leveling up. Let's not forget that. As we can give her a Sentinel, 20% damage, or extra damage via retaliation and opportunity attacks, and she gets first strike. Absolutely. We want her to have that. So, spells ready to cast. We don't need to worry about these at the moment. We've got enough going on here. The enemy hasn't shown up, which is partly nice and partly concerning. Lavinia Karst, ever unrelenting, pushes her forces further and harder into yet another battle. Perhaps not wise, but Lavinia, not known for her wisdom. Ferocity, unyielding courage, general aggression, absolutely, that's what she's known for. Wisdom, not, a little less. But we do have some mana that we're going to spend. We are going to actually hold position here. She, you know, will exercise some caution when the time is right. So these enemies will not be able to engage with us this turn, so that's good. I could move up with Lavinia so that we can drop some lightning down on them. I think that's called for. So they can engage her. That's going to be just fine. So what I want to do is have our guns up in range and ready. They're going to be able to start marking the enemy. We're going to keep our Wyvern back. It's going to just function as a defensive backline sweeper for now. So we can drop another mark there on these turtles here, because I think our guns are just going to blast these turtles down. Meanwhile, our Stormscale Serpent is actually going to pull up alongside our gunners. That will put it into range. But I don't want them attacking our guns, so let's see what they do. The Nemu looks like they are doing an enhancing symbiosis onto themselves and are going to be attempting a ram of the ships they're carrying are snakes. I feel like the snakes should be able to swim and not be in boats, but you know, what do I know about giant lightning snakes? I guess they're lightning snakes. It's probably not good that they're in the water. Okay, they're going around. That's fine. They're staying right there. That's also fine. I like that the enemies are in not the most advantageous positions ever. So we're going to be doing some blasting. Some significant blasting. So, to start with, kaboom. And kaboom. Wonderful. The Stormscale Serpents are going to be able to finish off these Nemu here. They're dead. Critical hit. Awesome. Those artisan weapons. Artisan fangs. We just like coating their fangs in artisan steel or something. That's pretty cool. Lavinia can do a whole lot of damage right here. Basically, almost completely wipe them out. Very solid. Our Wyvern could finish them off, but we're not going to do that, because then the Wyvern will get taken out. Or probably will get taken out. In the meantime, we're going to save our mana. This is actually going pretty well. The enemy nicely split themselves up for me. I didn't even have to do it themselves, or I didn't even have to do it myself. Okay, so that one had slip away for some reason. And these Nemu are going to attack here. That one's coming around for a flank. We'll keep our Stormscale Serpent ready to deal with them. In the meantime, our gunners here can shoot. There's a 50% chance that'll work. I'm actually going to have them mark these turtles. So, they're now marked. It's going to allow these Mage Locks to do a bit more damage. Hopefully. Very solid. And, could she assassinate them? It's only a 33% chance. That's not particularly high. So, she's going to engage directly with her life-stealing sword. Basically means all of these engagements are, ones that she is getting the advantage in. So, we're going to move our Stormscale Serpent around here and finish off these water spirits. So, they're dead now. And our Wyvern is now going to do its thing, because that is the right type of engagement for the Wyvern. The Wyvern will get attacked, but they're only going to be able to get one attack off on the Wyvern, which it's going to be able to survive just fine. So predictable. And of course, our gunners are going to make short work of this enemy. So, goodbye. That actually went quite well. Look at all this gold she is bringing to our empire. Say what you will about her. Her reckless strategy is very good for our economy. And that type of recklessness is very much approved by Queen Mar, which is why Lavinia has kind of had the free reign to do whatever the hell she wants. Because, you know, she does pay her tithes. She knows better. So, let's actually move her up a bit more so that we can drop the lightning. Always a good opener for these fights. So, we'll put our mage locks right back here. They can sight down onto these penguins. They're the main threat. Although, I mean, the squids are also kind of a threat. Both of these are threatening. Our troops here, how far can they move? So they can get up to here. Penguins can get up to there. I don't want to engage here, so I'm going to put them right there, and I'm going to put my gunners right back here, where they can also mark the octopuses. Sorry, not squids. I should, you know, avoid any unnecessary cephalopod slander when possible. So, let's see what they do. Okay. I wasn't aware they were able to move that far. Clearly I misread something. I didn't click on them, I clicked on the penguins. Didn't I? Okay. So that's a bit of damage, but we also dealt a bit of damage, so all is well. That one's approaching. So I could attempt to try and mark them, or drop them like that. I need to kill this unit. And I think the best way to kill this unit is to drop a designate target on it, which is going to allow our mage locks to instantly kill it because it is now super marked and flanked. And of course, it has that ability, so it's going to slip away. Where do we want to do some damage? I think I want to do some damage onto this unit, which is going to allow Lavinia to presumably pick both of them off. Because what we can do is drop an assassinate here, 91% chance of killing. So it's dead. And that's going to allow her to kill this unit, which is going to give her an action point with killing momentum. She can't move, so that's fine. But she will drop a heal onto Plague Scale Serpents. Yeah, okay, it did work. Great. So, all is well there. Our Wyvern... Ooh, I'm concerned here. Okay, it can't attack our troops here because it's going to be blocked. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so it's going to attempt to do a flanking attack on Lavinia here, which it was successful. Dealt quite a lot of damage to her. She is in danger. But she's not regretting the course of her actions at all, because she trusts in her gunners to do solid work. They do the hand's work. Now, if we go there, there's going to be a bit of retaliation, but it's all going to be fine. They've slipped away. We'll let the Storm Scales finish them off. Wonderful. Now, she is a bit battered and bloodied, but she's having a good time, and we have ourselves a Nightmare mount. Interesting. Would she ride him a Nightmare mount? She's more of a foot character, to be fair. But, I don't know, she might, and she's leveled up again. What do we want to give her? More fighting? More melee attack damage. Never a bad thing. Or we could get some, yeah, let's actually get Inspiring Leader. Her men are starting to, you know, warm up to her. After all of these successful raids, pillaging, you know, her men are getting rich. Besides, they don't have to share the wealth with all that many, considering most of the things or some of the things in her army are just beasts, and they don't need money, so... To ride a Nightmare or to not ride a Nightmare? Intimidating Aura and Vicious Killer? Yeah, why the hell not? Let's give her a Nightmare. And we have ourselves an Overseer. Hell yeah. Let's go. Do we take it easy? Or do we keep raiding? She's in a bit of a dangerous position and has no melee front line, and that's almost certainly not one enemy. That is probably like several water elementals there. So what we're going to do instead is head down here and not loot this shipwreck, though they are all tier 1 units. Screw it. Attack. What's the auto-resolve going to give us? I'll take it. Goodbye. Oh, man. Wild. So she's making for this island here. We are going to set up an outpost here, which will turn into a city. It's not immediately close to the Strix, but if the Strix decide to move on us, we will have a flanking position on them. So that's kind of my reasoning there. Now, we have a lot of money, so we're going to construct ourselves a grand wharf here in Nosarax, and all will be well in the realm. How are things in Ashgate? 2 more turns to be done there. We don't need to do any production at the moment. And Golemkeep is undergoing fantastic production. We've sent our new observer up to inspect the areas here. There is an infestation that we're going to take a look at. Huron is going to start engaging some of the enemies here. Defeating some of the forces. We will not recruit Krakens, because we need to save our money. 100 gold. We will also defeat these penguins. Still no casualties. Very well. We will also not recruit those. And we have the Ring of the Inspired Killer, or Inspiring Killer, I should say. There are resources here, and Huron wants them. A mana stash. That's going to be very clutch for us. So, our Outriders here, I keep calling them Outriders, they're Dragoons. They're going to move overland, and they're going to join up with Huron's forces, after which we will likely send one of the units back. I'm not sure which one. Maybe the Harriers? Maybe the Mercenaries. The Mercenaries can go back and defend. I really like the Mercenaries, but, alright, my ruler has leveled up, so we are going to want to get him some special abilities. I think he already has Sundering Strikes. No, he does not. Okay. Or Searing Weapons. So this doesn't apply to the heroes, which is unfortunate. But we could also get him some... start with an Iron Golem Assistant, a tier 1 fighter unit. So that's just there. You know what? This is a gift. It's a gift from Julian Ashcroft for his appointment in leadership. That's amazing. I was not aware that that was a skill, and I'm going to use it. And Julian Ashcroft's going to get that as well, obviously. He's going to be our golem guy, so... Alright, everything is looking good. Our treasury is looking very solid again. We have 1 more turn to go for our research. No, that's a lie. Yeah, we'll see. Battle upgrades. You send out brave warriors to fight wars, but will their numbers suffice? Your council has a suggestion.
The millstones of war continue to grind, my Viceroy. We would benefit from augmenting our recruitment efforts. The more troops we send into battle against the Spinner's heralds, the sooner we claim victory. We caught wind of an enchanted substance that quickens your warriors' training. You should claim these haste berries for yourself.
The recruitment efforts are significantly enhanced upon acquiring haste berries. Will you seek out this rare material? Why, yes, I will. Where is it? Down here. That's reachable. There's a city ruin down here. We're going to dismantle that. So I'm actually going to send an army down to do that. So we don't need this, these city ruins for anything. Who knows who built it? Golemkeep can annex another province. Fantastic. Well, I think we're going to get as much production as we can. So we're going to get another quarry going. The more things to build, the better. New Empire development skill available. Where? All the way down here. Teleporter infrastructure. Cities can now build teleporter province improvements. Praise the Ashen Hand. We're gonna get that. And we're gonna be working on that ASAP. Teleporter. It's gonna cost us 10 mana per turn. Ah, God, our mana infrastructure is terrible. I might only build one for now. As in, like, one linked teleporter network. The question is, where am I gonna put it? I think I'm gonna have to put it on this quarry. Right next to the city? That's probably the best place to put it anyways. So, we'll get that going. We'll actually speed it up here, and then we can build another one in Nos Arax. And I do want to build this right next to our main territory. This quarry right now is not benefiting anything in the nearby vicinity. Oh, no, it is. It's one of these. We don't want... Wait, did I just... fuck that up? No. No, I turned this one. Okay. Right. Don't want to do the mine there. Could put it here. No, that's the sheep's. And this one's actually benefiting the golem mine. So I don't want to put that there. I want to take this territory and then put it there. That would be ideal. So... Oh, man. That's going to take a while. But I want it. I need it. We can put it in the water instead of the dredger's quarry, but that's going to slow down everything. You know what? I'm putting it here. Screw it. Okay, that's going to tank our mana income, so we're going to need to figure out something to do with that. Let's get you there. That's going to get us 40 mana, and we are, of course, going to seize this watchtower, which is going to give us a lot more vision range, and reveal a couple more treasures for us to locate. There is this Forsaken Cove here, but the reason why I will not immediately engage this Forsaken Cove is because it might just so be that the nearest enemy to this Forsaken Cove may be the Spinner's Heralds, in which case we'll allow this to do its thing, and dear lord, that's not going to be an easy battle. Ghost ship? I was not aware that that was a unit, and I am not upset that that is a unit. That is fucking awesome. And I don't want to deal with it. Okay. Well, everything else is looking fine. Lavinia is going to continue raiding the high seas. She'll take out these. These are kind of close to our territory, so... destroy them. Nope, we'll be fighting this one as well, I guess. Hopefully you don't get too bored with all of these fights. They are very similar, but I suppose there's not that many sea-based enemies to encounter. I hope this game gets a proper sea update. I think they mentioned that it would, but that I also vaguely recall that them mentioning that it would actually was in reference to this update. As in the Empires and Ashes. In which case, there wasn't that much of a sea update, I gotta admit. I think just something. I guess these ghost ships are new? They might not be. Might also be other things that are new. I don't know. I don't know. So we're gonna have to hold here. I want to let our guns do their work. I can send Lavinia in, but she's a bit damaged. What I'm gonna do is actually heal herself. So... when we do that, then we can kind of use her as the main roadblock. But she can also, you know, heal herself in battle with her vampiric sword. Okay, they're being slow and clustering up, and we have mana. So, we are going to use Suppressing Barrage. So, anything get immobilized? Two of them got immobilized. That's pretty good. Well, since those two are immobilized, that's going to completely mess up their ability to advance properly. So nothing is going to reach us next turn, so I'm going to move our gunners into position where they can start having some fun. We'll mark these octopuses. I'm not so concerned about the Tide Spirits. They're not the most dangerous units out there. And we can have our Overseers, you know, start shooting their blinding bolts. We'll keep our Bone Wyvern right here. He'll hold position. And Lavinia is going to advance right up to here, where she can drop some lightning, or not, where she can drop some lightning onto those two units. Lovely. They are now substantially more fried than they were before. I love the CC that we get. Yeah, that just completely screwed their strategy, and we're just going to pick these two off. Like, our gunners... I don't like the range thing, though, but it's fine. It's a 70% chance of success. Kablam! Alright, they're out of here. Unfortunately, they're going to flee. I don't want Lavinia engaging just yet. We can drop, hopefully, a blind on them here. No, they resisted. So, I'm going to move Lavinia up. I could also throw a frost... Oh my god. Do it. Holy crap, that is amazing. Boom! Huge damage. That's sick. Okay, and she's just going to advance using the slippery here. Just to present a tempting target. Okay, they're going for my overseers. That's actually just fine. That will triple my overseers, but it's going to put them into perfect range for my guns. Which they're not going to like, so bye. And bye. Alright. Gunners effective, as it so turns out. Does Lavinia engage here? No. She is going to hold position right there, though. Snakes are just going to hang back. I want my wyvern to come right up here. They're not going to be able to reach me. And our overseers can come back here, where they can actually heal her. Beautiful. She's at full health. That's pretty good. I mean, just healing it won't last past this battle, but at least it means any damage she suffers is basically going to be non-existent for the purpose of future engagements. So if we can ensure that she's the only one actually really taking damage here, then that's going to be great. Now, our mage locks are going to advance here. Let's actually advance them right here so that they can mark the squids. I'm not going to be able to shoot this turn, unfortunately. Mage locks are a move or shoot type of unit, which is very cool. So, overseers engage here. I think Lavinia is going to be able to do this herself. So, she's going to do it herself. Down go these octopuses. They are, of course, still alive. I'm going to blind this tidal spirit. Fortunately, it resisted. Stormscale serpents can go over this way. They can try and block off this unit. They might, unfortunately, take a bit of damage there. As might our bone wyvern. Ooh. Kind of feel like distracting. No, there's no point in doing a distraction right now. We want to use this before we engage with our own troops, because that's purely like a defensive debuff, not an attack debuff. Okay, hopefully we don't lose anything. Okay, that really didn't do much damage, so that's nice. Yeah, they're grazing only. That's very handy. And the octopuses decided not to do anything. That's wonderful. Let's have our mage lock shoot in here. Bam! And we can have our overseers just finish them off. That's great. And our other mage locks, 60% chance. Bam! They're dead. No, they just fled here. Our Stormscale Serpents can finish them. And down they go. A battle won. No real losses. Not too much damage suffered. And a lot of food going to Nosarax. Actually, that's really good. Oh god, we're gonna have to pick these off too, aren't we? What do we have here? No thanks. We'll be fighting that as well. So, lots of enemies to fell. I feel like I want to actually... Yeah, we're going to move these guys up, and then I'm going to heal her. Okay, we have to actually move to her to do that. She's going to advance here, use her lightning on these titled spirits. Pick off one of the models in each of them, which is great. Mage locks can move up behind. They shouldn't be able to get to them. So that's good. Come right up here. Drop a mark on the octopuses, because they're the main threat to our forces right now. And other mage locks can come up to here and mark the octopuses as well. And then the other thing I want to do is I'm a little concerned about what they might... Can they reach us? They can reach Lavinia. That's okay. Lavinia can take it. We'll move up our reserve, or our damaged melee units in reserve. Okay, she's taking a bit of damage. That's acceptable. Octopus moving in. That one, these two are now stuck there, so that's good. So what I can do is utilize our magic. Oops, don't need to do that. So our suppressive barrage and try and immobilize, hopefully, some of these units. Okay, the one back there is immobilized, so they're out of the picture. Our mage locks are, of course, going to blast these octopuses down. Get a whole lot of damage in. That'll kill them. Or at least send them off. Our wyvern is actually going to take them out now. Good, they're gone. As for Lavinia, Lavinia can attempt to assassinate here. 60% chance of success. If she can get that, then that would be great. No, that was resisted. Very unfortunate. Well, our Stormscale Serpents can engage, which will, in turn, we can then bring up our Overseers to finish them off. No, it doesn't quite finish them off, but we can subdue them. Can't be affected. Okay. Well, at the very least, they can't do a retaliation, which will allow Lavinia to move into here and stop these enemies before they can engage our Mage Locks. So this unit can do stuff, but it's going to be stuck fighting the Stormscale Serpent, and it should die. Will it? It might not, actually. Concerning. We'll see. Hopefully we don't lose anything. But again, if we do, that's okay. Okay, they're engaging Lavinia, doing a bit of damage, a little bit of poke. That unit's immobilized, so that's great. Our Mage Locks can fire away. Very solid damage. What about here? They'll pick off this unit. It's going to send them over here. Our Wyvern is awesome for this type of work. Oh, I wish this could target slightly better. Let's... Are you serious? Again? Or did that one not do that? I don't know. I feel like it already had it slippery once. This is a really annoying ability. I just want to point that out. It is an incredibly annoying ability. Especially if they can use it multiple times. Because, yeah. That's another turn that we now have to wait for that unit to do something. Yeah, I really feel like creep armies shouldn't have this type of stuff. Okay, and she can't even kill it in one go. Nor can we kill it, I mean, maybe if we manage to hit it from extreme range. Like 5% chance. Overseers, can you do some damage, please? Now can you finish it? Thank you. Alright, that's enough of you. Alright, the enemy is dead. We got ourselves a helmet. Lovely. And we need to kill those. That's not going to be an easy fight, so let's go away for now. Our golems are sailing to the Golemkeep. We're almost there. Then our outriders are going to head into the water. Lavinia has leveled up yet again. I am going to give her a little bit more of a leader ability. We'll give her vigor. More health. Health is always good. So, I realized where we got our iron golems from. It was from completing a mission. That mission had units as a potential reward, so that was a pretty good mission. Speaking of, we have completed our research of iron golems. Julian Ashcroft has been hard at work, and now they're ready to be formed. So we will begin by starting some new research here. Lesser magma spirits, pyromancers, and enchanted crow companions. I don't really want any of these, so let's shuffle. Alright, immolate. It's okay. That sounds more fun. It's a structure. Siege magic also sounds fun, but we're going to get artisan fortifications, because that seems like something we're going to want to build here. Alright. Construction is still undergoing here. Our iron golems are going to move up into Julian Ashcroft's army. He now has a pretty potent army. It is entirely a melee army. There is nothing ranged there. So, we unfortunately lost our observer here in this Forsaken Cove, and, disturbingly, there are reports from our observers here that there are black-clad humans with arachnids in tow moving through the streets of Pedestal. Unopposed, as if they were invited. So it would appear that there is some diplomacy happening between the Strix and the Spinner's Heralds. This poses a danger for us. Something that we need to deal with. Might be we'll be fighting a war on two fronts. That would not be ideal. Ashgate has produced an academy, so we will need to get some more construction going here. We're going to want a monolith here in Ashgate, because we need mana. ASAP. We don't need a teleporter here for now. I mean, we will get one eventually, but at the moment we don't need it. Outpost has produced its palisade walls. Immediately construct stone walls, and then we'll construct a watchtower. Elixir Sopharix has returned to Hallow Hall, presumably to see to his guests. It's very unfortunate when the primitives get duped. Now, these Strix aren't necessarily all that primitive, but that they're interacting with the Spinner's heralds doesn't bode well. So, for now, our mercenaries are going to actually withdraw while we put our dragoons into position here with Huron's army. So the mercenaries are going to head back to Golemkeep and help bolster the defenses there. There are a couple of old sergeants, Jacob Holstein and one yet named sergeant. Though, you know, he's just the old sergeant. He needs a name. These are characters also from some of the commenters. That, if all goes well, they might join, or some of them might join, the upper command echelons of the Hand of Mar. But of course, they're lower ranking soldiers for now. They'll have to prove themselves in battle. But for now, one of the old sergeants is getting a bit of a reprieve, and we'll be heading to Golemkeep to join the forces down there. As for Jacob Holstein, he is convalescing from his wounds in the previous battle, but he'll be back. He'll be back. Now, our troops here are going to move to these city ruins so that we can dismantle them. Because we don't need that there. And she doesn't want to engage that at the moment. So, she's actually going to, for real this time, do her job. I know. Who'd have thought? Okay, and we can send them back. They only need to get there. And then, of course, we need to take control of this area. So as soon as these city ruins are gone, we should be able to expand and take these haste berries. It's not the best expansion. Actually, we can't. We need a higher tier building. I don't know if we can do that. Speaking of, what are the higher tier troops? It's just Mage Lock cannons. There's only tier 3. There are no tier 4 units. Oh man, I hope the expanded cultural units mod gets to the Reaver soon. I'm glad they updated so that the Dragoons aren't bugged anymore. But I want to see some more Reaver units. Anyways, let's end our turn. We'll do 1 or 2 more turns before we end the episode. There are enemies on our borders. Our scouts, looking from the crow's nests of our ships, have spotted an enormous sea creature moving towards us from this Forsaken Cove. I believe we need to deal with this. So, for now, our extra halberdiers, the old sergeant's men, are going to move in reserve as we engage this Kraken and the dead. This will be a battle. I want to fight this one out because it's a battle with the Kraken, and that's pretty cool. And we'll see how these new Outriders do. Sorry, Dragoons. Why do I keep calling them Outriders? Well, plenty of things to be done here. We can start off with not that, apparently, because that doesn't work. Cool. Then I think we're going to use our guns. I want to pick off some of these weaker units. No, we're not in range. Okay. Well, that's at least in range. We can do a bit of damage there. It's not much, but it's something. Our Dragoons can advance, but if they advance, they're going to take a lot of damage. Our Halberdiers are going to move up to support. They might get attacked by these Kraken spawn, but that's okay. Our Harriers here, they would like to throw a net at the big old Kraken. Immobilize. Oh, it resisted. Uh-oh. Well, they might be in trouble. Our Dragoons can shoot with their harrying shots. Fantastic. They're going to get a little bit of damage in on the Wyvern. Okay. That could attack either one. Either my leader or not. Okay. I would like to... You're not going to reach there. You can. So moving my mage locks there is going to be a risk. Then no, moving my mage locks there is going to be a risk. Moving my mage locks anywhere is going to be a risk. I can move them here, and they'll be okay. Then I can take aim on the Kraken. Okay, we've got our Overseers. Our Overseers need to get some work in as well. So if we drop them there, they'll get targeted by the Kraken, almost certainly. I'm actually going to move them over this way, just to keep them in reserve, because I have a feeling somebody's going to need some healing after this upcoming turn. So, what about you guys? So if they advance up to here, we can shoot the little ones. If they advance there, we can shoot the big one. I don't want to shoot the big one, so we're going to move him right here. Okay. I'm a little concerned, but we'll see what happens. Our Harriers might meet their end. Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, that's unfortunate. So its movement capabilities was a lie, apparently. It can move farther than it did. But everything's here now, so I guess that's something. So we could do a Frostfire Bomb, but that's going to hit way too many friendly units. We need to heal up these guys. I can't reach them this turn, so we're going to have to move around back. And if we can blind, it's only a 29% chance to blind, whereas here it's a 60%. We're going to take it. Did it work? Yes, it did. Lovely. Okay. What about Assassinate? We'll do 29 damage. That would do 27. Let's do 25. This does more damage to heroes, right? Yeah. Nothing here is a hero. What about just a regular old pistol shot? I want to kill the Wyvern, if possible. That's going to do a ton of damage to the Wyvern. So, we're going to do exactly that. Animal Slayer dealt some serious work. And we, of course, have our Dragoons, which can assist here. So we're going to move our Dragoons right there. And they're going to finish off the Wyvern. Goodbye. That's enough of you. And we'll move in here to flank the little ones. And I think our Harriers are going to bravely sacrifice themselves to trigger the retaliation attacks from the Kraken. So that we can move our Mage Locks back. They don't want to be here. We're going to move back a little farther and mark the Kraken again. In the meantime, our Halberds are going to charge it. Yeah, we may as well do a drive back, right? Brutal. Giant Slayer. That actually worked out very well. The Halberds are in a bit of a precarious position, but that's okay. These guys are sandwiched in between two of our Dragoons. We can escape right now, which we will, because we have Slippery. We can engage here, but I'd rather not. I think I'm going to have them just pull back, because they're a bit damaged. And I would like them to be assisted by our priests. Now, what we can also do here... No, too much friendly fire. What about just a bit of damage? It's really not much damage, and they're going to be immune to burning, because, you know, they're in the sea. So, I guess we'll see what happens. Shh. And alas, our Harriers will be going to the bottom of the sea. But that was to be expected. The old Sergeant's Halberdiers have also taken some losses. But unfortunately, that is also to be expected. We need to take out these Kraken spawn, buy them some time. Our Dragoons can now engage into melee. Or we can have them pull back here. Nope, that's not going to work. That is unfortunate. Well, we could move them in here, which would allow our Overseers to pull back. Trigger an opportunity attack. That's fine. We'll heal them up. Wonderful. Now, they can shoot with their guns and kill the Kraken. Goodbye. That's enough of you. We'll see if these hit. It's a miss. To be expected. And let's have our Dragoons engage right here. Very much damage. And they're dead. Alright. Victory. lost our Harriers, which will allow the old Sergeant's Halberdiers to rejoin the army. Okay. Oh boy, and they're there. I do not want to engage against both of those right now. That is Banshees, Ghost Ships, and Phantasm Warriors. Yeah, no. Not right now. Lavinia has made landfall and is going to be taking out these flying things. That'll be a victory there. Another demoralizing mask. And she'll move up onto the mainland and start searching for good terrain to found a city. We have a mana node, a gold vein. We've got some silver tongue fruit here. More food and draft. It's Pearl Reef. Pastures. Gold vein here. It's all kinds of stuff. What I'm looking for is a place where we can start a quarry, but I'm not finding any, so there is, of course, the Pantheon Shrine down here. Would be ideal. So if we put our city right around here, we can expand to take this wonder as well. Ah, here's one. So maybe I want to put it here. That's also a little bit closer to the enemy. Now, moving up to seize those resources might take a little while, but I think that's what we're going to do. So our troops are going to hold here. Meanwhile, Julian Ashcroft is going to go and actually finish off the enemies on this island. Seems like Lavinia didn't manage to kill everything, though these worms may have burrowed up from below. Oh no. Spawn of a great and ancient beast. An ancient beast that now serves as the vessel to a god. A hidden god that, even before the cataclysm, remained unseen to the others of its kind, but no longer. It has made its move, unlike the others, which were drastically weakened by the effects of the Godir. This particular god was never weakened. It was just more patient. And it has already made its move. Something that the world needs to deal with. And it will unfortunately be our own empire that stands on the forefront of that apocalypse. Well, I have skipped one turn ahead, so that our final turn this episode can at least be a more eventful one. We slew some more monsters, which allowed Huron Karst to level up. He got the Spur to Action ability, which allows him to, as a free action, give an allied unit an action. So that's going to be very cool, especially with his Outrider friends. And he's going off hunting the wildlife, much like his sister has. Some of these mercenaries have suffered some severe damage, so he's actually now going to return to the Golemkeep while Julian Ashcroft goes and deals with these subterranean burrowers, spiders and worms. This seems like a proxy force of the Spinner's Heralds. In fact, I am certain this is a proxy force of the Spinner's Heralds. Julian Ashcroft will test his new creations in battle. So, he will advance here. And of course, he will do so with his bulwark in tow. We will advance these ones up here. So this will move him into the adjacent bonus here. We can drop a lightning strike on these two smaller variants. And they will take a defensive posture as well, as will these. And our living troops are going to form up here. Now, the enemy is going to have to come to us. We'll rise up from the deeps and immediately launch an attack on our golems. Unfortunately, this canceled the golems' retaliation. And of course, the hunting spiders are going to get behind our lines with a dastardly leap. To be expected. Now our troops are currently unable to retaliate. Our golems are suffering damage. This is not good. Our halberdiers are actually going to push this monster back. get it away from our golems here. This will in turn allow our copper golems to launch a devastating series of attacks against these young caustic worms, which will allow our iron golems here to finish them off. Now, Julian Ashcroft needs to be able to act. We could push this enemy back, or we could attempt to ignite it, or we can attempt to ignite the large one. Perhaps that would be a better option. What might our best options here be? Perhaps, I think these spiders, they need to be dealt with, so we will mark them. We'll designate target on them so that they are distracted. This will allow our copper golems here to do a fair bit of damage to them. That'll kill one. It's not much, but it's something. There are some status effects on it, which means he could attempt to use Chaos Eater here. How's that going to work? I don't know. It's got 6 negative status effects, so that could do quite a lot of damage. But it doesn't show that it's going to deal damage. Let's do it and see how it works. It doesn't seem to want to work. Targets all adjacent enemies. Oh. 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 Julian Ashcroft, he has some peculiar talents. One, he hates disorder. He hates disorder so much that the Ashen Hand has given him the ability to consume disorder. And they're just dead. Oh my god. Brutal. Alright, the Iron Golems are going to go about clubbing these young, innocent caustic worms. You know, they look kind of like seals, after all. I should note I do not support seal clubbing in any way, shape, or form. Unless, you know, they're having fun in a nightclub, then I guess, you know, to each their own. It's not what I would do if I was a seal, but I'm not a seal, so. That was a cool-ass ability. That does a lot of damage, too. Right, he's not the best melee fighter, but, you know, he can hold his own. Let's club these ones down there. And we're going to send our little copper golems here to draw some attention from the big caustic worm. In the meantime, our halberdiers here are going to assist against the younger caustic worms, which is going to allow our golems here to deal a fair bit of damage. I would like to actually kill them, which means I'm going to drop an ignite on them. So now they're actually dead. That's great. Our main iron golems are going to go and engage the big caustic worm, whereas these iron golems are actually going to be given the order to retreat and hunker down. I should have actually just moved them back there to give them the shield wall bonuses, but it's fine. So we will lose these small copper golems. That is an acceptable loss. They're easy to produce after all. So, what kind of debuffs are they on? Not many, but with this attack here, they'll have more debuffs. Which means we could use Chaos Eater again, which would kill them. Or, we can move him here. And then he can use Chaos Eater to kill that one. Because that one's gotta have... Oh yeah, look at that. See ya! That is an awesome ability. Very well. The rest of our troops will engage. We'll let the human halberdiers get the final blow in. And these enemies have been dealt with. An excellent victory. Some losses, but to be expected against such a dangerous force. Evoker's robes. He'll be taking that. That seems like something he would wear. He was wearing leather armor before. But he is a man in robes after all. His magic attacks will deal extra damage with that, so that's very good. In the meantime, our artisan fortifications have been researched, meaning we can get more, and we are going to get some spell-tempered shields. Yes, please. Outpost has produced its stone wall. We will now construct a watchtower so that we can see what's going on down there. Golemkeep can annex yet another province. Well, we could build a quarry right here. It's going to be kind of ugly. Or we can attempt to do something here. Let's actually get some more research going. We need research and mana, so we're going to start heading up here and seizing these territories down here. So now we have Astral Dew. Astral Dew is going to Unlock infusions in the item forge, granting lightning damage, lightning resistance, regular resistance, and spell casting, and giving us 15 extra world map casting points. That's pretty clutch. Alright, a signature skill is available to Huron Karst. Fantastic. What are we going to get for him? Restoration, perhaps? Could be good. The other ones don't particularly... Yeah, we're going to give him Restoration. It'll give us one Empire Order, or Order Affinity, I should say. These are all Empire, yeah, Empire Chaos Affinity. Right, so that'll give us one Order Affinity, that's good. I would actually like to get some Order-based abilities, after all. Well, let's just get these Overseers into Ashcroft's army. He won't turn down fellow members of the priesthood to assist him. Lavinia is going to move towards the location of her new city, but in the meantime, she is going to deal with some of these enemy units over land. Let's see what the auto-resolve gives us. Let's not settle for that. We can keep our Bone Wyvern alive, and besides, this is going to be a land battle. It'll look a little bit cooler than all of the endless sea battles that she's been fighting. It's not really her strong suit, of course, fighting on land, but she'll do just fine, I'm sure. I'm going to let the enemy come to us for the moment. Because she is going to use a heal on herself. That's going to allow her to put herself into a position where she can actually take some of the fire for herself. So, if we move these gunners up here... No, they're still out of range. How far can these enemies move? Fairly far. Dark warriors. Evil birds. God, I'm so disappointed that the avian race has no crowhead options. Otherwise, I might have played a, this may have been like a crow person campaign. Alright, how fast can these penguins go? That's what's really concerning. Alright, not very fast. Overseers can advance here. Overseers can drop a big ol' heal on the wyvern, actually. And the wyvern can assist in soaking up some of the damage. So we have our gunners up in front for now. Normally is not a good idea, but nothing's going to reach us this turn, so... Actually, I didn't check the birds. No, it doesn't look like they will. Wonderful! Enemy is nicely in range. So we're going to start by marking these penguins with the Overseers, which is going to allow our mage locks to open up on them, dealing some very solid damage there, and some even more solid damage there. 2 penguins down in an instant. Now, Lavinia Karst can engage here with a Mage Lock bomb. Sorry, a Frostfire bomb. Fortunately, both of these are going to target friendlies. This won't, though. So, she's going to throw this bomb right here. It's going to do even more damage. She's going to allow our Stormscale Serpents to come in and finish off those penguins. And our Bone Wyvern here is going to engage the Dark Warriors. So, with the Dark Warriors engaged, they're not going to be able to get their charge off. And how do I want to do the rest of this? I think we can drop an Immolation onto that unit. So they're now burning. And they've suffered a bit of damage. Those are Night Guards, so they're going to be fairly effective. They're going to do quite a bit of damage. Ow! As in, quite a lot of damage. Alright, well, our Bone Wyvern is dead after all. That's a shame. But so it is. Enemies have blinded the Stormscale Serpent with their claws. Be expected. Lavinia is going to swing around here. Let's see here. These mage locks are tied up. Actually, let's just get the Stormscale Serpent to do its work. So we don't... Oh, well, and it's dead. Okay, cool. Then, in that case, our Overseers can advance here. They can blind these troops there. Our mage locks are going to open up on them, dealing some seriously massive damage. They're also going to open up on these Dark Warriors, taking down more of them. This is, in turn, is going to allow Lavinia to come up here. Lavinia is going to drop an Assassinate onto this unit. 80% chance to kill them outright. And they're dead. Which is going to allow her to finish off that unit. Brutal. Decisive. Right. Unfortunate about the Wyvern, but so it is. And we have ourselves another Nightmare. Well, oh, look at that. That is a new unit that has joined our ranks. Isn't that fantastic? Spell ready to launch. No, we don't need to launch any spell right now. Message received. You're angering me. Okay, it's still issuing some errant threats, which now have a bit more backing to them, considering that they have just allied themselves. Or at least they have positive diplomatic relations with the wretched Spinner's Heralds. So I'm going to construct the Wizard Channeling Tower for now. It's going to cost us 200 mana, but right now I can afford that. And that's going to increase the magic, or the combat casting, and the world map casting capability of our empire, both of which are going to be very, very beneficial to us. So, our city is slightly unstable, but we're about to have a tavern, so that's going to solve that problem. As much as I want to build more economic things, this is on the border of the enemy, and we are going to construct artisan fortifications. Actually, let's construct the basic battlements first. So we'll construct an archer's battlement, because we're going to be putting mage locks to defend the city, along with the golems, of course. And from there, let's build a caltrop stash as well, so that this place can survive an attack. As far as everything else goes, we're looking pretty good. Our money situation is not bad. Everything else is good. And that, my friends, is going to be where I end today's episode. I do hope you have all enjoyed it. It is certainly an awesome campaign. I am still really liking the Reavers, so we'll be moving on with this campaign as soon as I can. Once again, as I mentioned, I can't really guarantee anything more than one episode per week, but hopefully that'll change, and, you know, if there are more than one episode per week, then awesome. Good for everyone. So these are going to be longer episodes. That's just easier for me to work with in terms of my own time constraints, so longer episodes, I hope you guys don't mind. If you would like shorter episodes, let me know. I can try and work it in, but I can't guarantee that. It's also, these longer episodes are not necessarily the best for the YouTube algorithms, so if you could drop a like and leave whatever comments you guys want to leave, all of that helps tremendously with the algorithm, plus comments are always nice to read, so thank you to everybody that has been doing so in this series thus far. And I will catch you all in the next episode. Ash Heriter out.